Hello everyone, it's Jackie. Welcome back to my channel and Happy New Year. I haven't been around for a while. Some of you obviously, I guess, will have noticed that. I've had a bit of trouble getting Mojo going this year. We had a family bereavement just before Christmas. And with one thing and another, getting stuff sorted out, and you probably all know what it's like. The lockdown, the pandemic, everything has piled up a little bit. I have still been crafting when I can. I've got some journals nearly finished. Oh, excuse me. And we'll get to those in a few weeks. I'll show you those in due course. But I thought I'd start today with a simple tag tutorial or craft with me, and we'll see how we go with it. This is one of the tags I made for Tracy's 100 tags last year, and I thought I'd just show you how I did it. It's pretty simple, but it might take us a little bit of time. So first thing I've got is some card cut to 3 1/4 by 6 1/2. This is just some thin cream coloured card, and I thought I'd use a piece of packaging, see how we go with that as well. For the background, I've got, this is from, I think it's Russian book that I picked up somewhere, so we'll use that as one. And this is an 1899 magazine. I picked up a little bunch of these at a charity shop, not a charity shop, like an antique fair place, quite a long time ago. They were really cheap, and I thought they'd be great for using in journals, but they're actually quite saucy, really. That's just they might not be to everybody's taste, so I'm using them sparingly at the moment. Okay, so the first thing I do is get my card, and we'll just use glue stick. Cover it with the glue stick. I'm going to make 2 at a time. I'm not sure I'll do them all on camera, but we'll see how we go. Pop this down as straight as we can. I did just sand, that was from a biscuit box. So I did just sand off the coloured side a bit, just to make sure the glue sticks properly to that. Okay, and this one, I think I was going to use this bit here. So again, I'll try and line it up. Try and line this up with the writing so that it looks relatively straight when we get onto the... Okay. And then we'll just cut around these. So I hope everyone's okay, managed to stay safe. UK is not having a great time at the moment with the virus, as some of you will probably realise. We've been in lockdown again now for a couple of weeks. I still go out to work, so I do get out and about a little bit. But it's very monotonous, I have to be honest. I think people are thoroughly fed up of it now. So, right, so those are our 2 background pieces. The next thing I do is cut the edges off to make it into a tag shape. And I've just got this credit card which I use. I've seen a few people do this now. I saw Gail Augustinelli do this some time ago. It was a great idea. I do like my tags, my work in general, really, to be I suppose neat and to match, that sort of thing. Okay, So the other thing I've done ahead of time is tear out a couple of Flower Fairy images, and that's from this little book called A Flower Fairy's Treasury. See, I've taken a few out of this already. And I'm going to cut these down using this little mini trimmer that I've got. When I've done that, I just sort of offer them up and make sure that they're not too big for the space that I've got, and they look fine. That looks about right to me, in proportion. My next task, before I do anything else, I'm going to do some stitching. I'm going to do this off camera, only because I have to lift my sewing machine in and it's quite noisy. I'm just going to use a straight stitch, and I'm going to go round the edges of the tag, so that will show on the card on the back. And then I'm going to just stitch round each of these images, just singly like that. Go around the edges of this one. So let me do that, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, so I've done my stitching. I've done it in a neutral colour, a sort of beige colour. And I've just used distress ink just to take the white edges off the edges of my tags and the images. So the next thing we're going to do is, have that one on the white one and this one here, is pop these on. I'm going to use art glitter glue for this. So I'm going pretty close to the edge. A bit in the middle. You don't have a lot of time or manoeuvrability with art glitter glue, so you do need to get it straight if you can, first time. Hopefully we will, more or less. Okay, so that's that one. And I've just put it up, not dead in the middle, it's a little bit above the centre. Probably about there. It's good. And then I'm going to do a little bit of collage on these, just to get that back in, sorry. Just to soften the corners a little bit. And I've just got scraps, literally scraps that have been sitting on my desk. And I'm just going to tear these into triangle shapes. And these are just going to sit across the corners. I first saw, I think it was Rachel from Roxy Creations do this a really long time ago, or something similar anyway. I'm not sure if it was exactly the same. And I liked the way, I just like the way it softened, as I say, if it just sort of softened the corners a little bit. Probably put it something like that there. The same on that one. And we'll do this bottom corner as well. So I'm trying to keep these bits sort of plain. If we've got a plain background, if this was plain, I'd probably use text to do, and probably coloured pieces to do these bits of collage. Sorry, I think I went out of shot. So I would take the time just to ink these edges, just to take the whiteness off the edges. Very lightly, there's not a lot of colour on those. Okay, and then we'll just use glue stick to pop these down. Could have done this before and stitched over these. I quite like it this way. See the way I just shove things onto the floor when I'm crafting on the floor. My desk isn't very tidy. I've got bits of journal over there. If I remember, I'll show you, give you a sneak peek in a minute of that. Okay, so there's a jumble of stuff just off camera. So I am just going to trim off the edges. And just use my distress ink again on those edges. Okay, so that's our basic tag done. This isn't glued down. Make sure it's glued. There we go. So the other thing I did was trim the bottom of these. And again, I've got bits of lace here that I've been using on the journal I've been making. So I'm just going to use what I've got, literally got on my desk, and hopefully it'll work out okay. This is a ruffle that I've been making. Again, I've used in this journal, so I'm thinking that that might go across there. This is more of a yellowy green. This is a softer one, so let's see. Perhaps just put a piece of sari ribbon like this. sort of deciding how you want to do it really. That one I might do like that. That tones in much better with the colours. Can have that like that, and this one, to find a bit of blue. Again, we'll do the same. So this is chiffon silk, and we'll just pop that one on like that. So to hold these in place, I am going to zigzag across. To hold everything in place, I'm just going to use a little bit of glue stick. For that, and for this piece, I'm going to go across with the art glitter glue. I should just let that dry a bit, and then I'll zigzag across the bottom there. I'm going to do much the same with this one. And that should hold it enough for me to be able to stitch across. Again, I think I'll do that off camera. Oops, she says, look, that didn't hold it at all. If it doesn't stick, I can just, I can do that without gluing it first. I think it will stick a little bit. Okay, so the other thing, if you remember the original tag, very similar. I've got a label on each one, which I am going to do because these bottom two are very plain, so I am going to find a little label for each one, and we're also going to make a charm for each one. So that's what I'm going to do next, is the charm. So I will be back in a moment. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to show you how I do the charms. This is quite fiddly. My fingers aren't as dexterous as they used to be. So we'll see how we get on. So the first thing I've got is one of these head pins with a little stopper at the bottom, and I'm going to start by threading on one of these, like a little star bead, I guess, and then now what do they call this, a bead cap, and then my bigger bead. I've got two beads, a similar, a big one and a small one, and then another of these, another bead cap up the other way this time, and then our smaller. Now this won't work so well because the bead caps aren't the right size, but I've actually run out of bead caps really, so I'm just kind of making do, but I think it'll be fine. I might put another, that'll do. So that's going to hang quite prettily on there, and I think we'll leave it at that. So I've got some wire cutters, and I want to make a loop at the top. Now I'm not very professional. I can do a sort of twisted bound loop, but for this I'm just going to do something very simple. So I'm going to cut it off to about 1 centimetre, and then I'm going to take my round nosed pliers, and I'm literally going to just make a loop like so. So I've got it like this, and I just want to close it so that it's basically holding those in place, and then I can move it up a little bit. So that's one charm. Let's show you again, let's do the other one. We started off with one of these and a bead cap and our bigger bead, one of these, another bead cap, a smaller bead, and this time I'm going to put this sort of bead cap on, just to make it a bit different, and we will top it with a little tiny spacer here. Okay, so again I'm going to chop that off at about 1 centimetre, and then I'm going to, what you can do is turn this back slightly to start with. I've made it awkward now. There we go. And then just turn this over. Close it together, trying to close it together. Straighten that up slightly, and there we've got a little blue dangle. Okay, I've also found 2 silver key charms which are quite cute, and I'm going to put a jump ring on the top of both of those. One. I haven't got Molly with me today. I think she's lying on the bed in the other room. I think the sun's coming through the window and she likes that. She does still get on my desk. I did a Zoom meeting for work the other day, and she made her presence known at the works meeting, which people seem to quite enjoy. So if I do that again, I might take her along with me again. I am trying desperately to put jump rings in all of these. I hope you can see how I'm doing it. When you open a jump ring, you pull it towards you. So towards you, not that way. Put it in the top. Okay, so I'm just going to finish this off camera. I'm going to make my holes at the top of the tag. I've marked the centre, and I'm going to put an eyelet in there. I'll do that and then we'll just quickly finish off. Okay, let's finish these off. I've put the eyelets in and I've cut a little bit of sari ribbon for each of these, and I'm going to sort of double tie it. So this is just going through like so, and then I've got some twine. I'm going to use a bow. I do this method a lot in my journals, if I'm putting these sorts of tags in my journals, because it's just slightly flatter. This whole, this bit at the top here is slightly flatter, so it reduces bulk a little bit. Not much, but a little bit. I think I'll go. Yes, I am recording, sorry. I'm coughing a little bit, but I haven't got COVID. I have to test twice a week now. I did it yesterday and I was negative, thankfully. So I just try and pull these down so that they're trained downwards a little bit. And we'll cut the ends off. Excuse me. Just need a bulb pin, because to finish up the top I'm just going to take our charm and close this one up properly. Bear with me a second. And then I'm just going to thread that through the bottom of that. Pop these down straight again. And there's one tag complete. The only other thing I do with this twine method is just pop a bit of this art glitter glue on the knot just to stop it loosening. So that's that one. And I've used the same ribbon at the top that I've used at the bottom here. So again, I've got this one. I like using jump rings on the top of charms, because I think when you pin anything then everything seems to sit a little bit better, but it's not strictly absolutely necessary if you haven't got them. There we go. Squeeze that one shut. And we'll tighten the knot. So there we are, 2 tags, quite pretty ones I think. Try and follow the colour scheme from the image that I've chosen. I did add the labels, they're Tracy Fox labels. You could put a little bit of bling down the bottom, that might look quite pretty, but I quite like them just as they are. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Thank you very much for joining me. Hopefully there won't be such a large gap before the next video. My plan is to do them fairly regularly, so we'll see how we go. Thank you. Bye bye.